I'll be free until the end, crib outside the city.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy cars and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. We are here live to talk about everything football. I'm sure we'll talk about some referees. We'll talk about match of the day. We'll talk about everything in between. Unfortunately, there's no Super 6 update this week because there was no Super 6, so it doesn't matter. It's all right. No, it's been a busy end of the season. So we had another 2 rounds since last week's show. Rye won last Saturday's round with 14 points. Caris Stubbs won the midweek round with 18 points. But my battle with Rhodri is back on. Not such a good week for me. I only got 4 on the weekend. Forgot my midweek ones again, just to make it interesting. Rhodri scored a whopping 21 points over the 2 legs, which means the lead is only 18 points. So there we go.
Easy, see, 1 week and it's cut in half straight away. Boom.
Well, the thing is, mate, I was getting bored, so I needed to bring you back into the game. Bring you back in.
You were pissed when you... I wish they had a camera on you and you realised, shit, I've not done my Super 6. That'd have been funny, that.
Never. I was... I'm always laid back, isn't I?
Yeah, great. I wonder what word you used. Bastard. Shit.
I was fucking fuming with... Because I did it last week, and... I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then I didn't even think of it. Like last week, it was like...
You said it on last week's show. We've got Saturday and next week. We've got 2 next week. You said it on the show last week.
I know. And I didn't even think of it until you messaged me gloating. It hadn't even clicked in my brain like at any point. Oh, need to do the midweek one. Got to go back to just doing them straight away. Horrendous. But there we go, mate. We've got plenty to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about before we get into the football is a little bit about match of the day and the pundits, but I want to look at it from a different point of view rather than just going over the same ground and blah, 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 because it's all a bit bullshit to me, to be honest. Like, everyone's entitled to have their own opinion on stuff. So, unless it's written in your contract that you're not allowed to have an opinion, then say what you want within reason. However, I want to ask, do you think match of the day is due some sort of refurb? Is it like a bit of a, I don't know what the word is, like a bit of a, is it time to change it up a bit? It's been the same for many years. Is it time to change it? Or is it like a national treasure type thing, which should always be kept pretty much the same? Where do you stand on it?
No, I think we should keep it the same.
Different pundits?
No, I just don't think Gary Lineker has served his time yet. That's the thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a big Gary Lineker fan. But, no, like when you've had your Des Lynams, who's the other guy he's had recently who's just died, Dickie Davis. These are stalwarts at match today. And Gary Lineker's that, yes, he's outspoken, but so it's his own platform. He can do what he wants, as lads we say, as long as it's not in his contract, and it clearly isn't, because they've apologised and let him back on.
Yeah, well, the one thing which I did take kind of like a bit of like a big positive out of it was the way all his fellow pundits and the commentators, they all stuck together, and I like that, because that shows that
commentators, pundits, flipping everyone. The match of the day was weird, wasn't it? Listening.
It was so strange. Like, it was, they didn't even call it match of the day, did they? They called it Premier League highlights, no intro.
Well, but imagine if you're a blind bloke or a blind bird, and you know, you match the day, street match the days, and it comes on, like, what? Maybe no music.
Yeah. No commentary, nothing. It was weird. They done like 500,000 more viewers than normal, but I think that's more the curiosity, wasn't it, to see what they were going to do with it. And look, it was a bullet that no one was willing to take. Like, there was an opportunity there for some presenter and some pundits to really have their chance, I guess.
But outcast.
Yeah, of course they would have. No one was willing, were they?
No.
But and you know, look, I commend them for sticking together. I think that's good. I think that is, we need more of that in society as a whole. Is to thing. And like, look, they did try and change it up a little bit with Match of the Day 2 a while back, when they had Colin Murray on, and he was having a bit of banter and a bit of a joke, and like your Alan Hansons and people, they didn't like it. They didn't like the change. They, you know, you've never played the game, as they go. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but Chappers is all right though.
I like Chappers. I really do. He gets about mine, doesn't he? He's on Sky, and they seem to have opened it up.
This is what happens when you're good at your job.
Everyone wants you.
Yeah, other jobs.
There you go. So yeah, that was that. I'm kind of, I think Match of the Day should stay the way it is, and I do wish sometimes the punditry was a bit better. There's a few on there which I'm not massive fans of.
Yeah, I'm not a bigger fan of most of them, to be honest. But
you know what, mate?
But together as a team, they work.
That's what I was going to say. As a team, I think they work. And when you compare them to the absolute shit show that TalkSport seemed to be going down over the last year, I'll take the Match of the Day pundits all day long.
Yeah, exactly. They've got like Shearer, Wright, Murphy. Even Murphy's on tour, but Murphy's all right. Jennings, and they've got Cundy, O'Hara, Agbonlahor. They have got some good ones as well. Brazil's good. I
like Simon Jordan.
Simon Jordan's good.
The way he backs up his points.
Ali McCoy, Goldstein. I like Goldstein and Bent. And drive home. So,
well, the thing is, they don't do what, like O'Hara and Agbonlahor spring to mind particularly. They just say bullshit, which they know is going to get a reaction. Yeah, and that, to me, that's not being good at your job. That's just saying something to be contrary and to get a reaction.
The fell end, aren't you?
Yeah. So I got no time for that. A couple of other little things. England squad, Gareth Southgate stuck to players who haven't been playing, like your Harry Maguire's, Tony's back in.
Phillips, I don't get that one.
It's a weird one, isn't it? But he trusts, we've talked about this a lot with Southgate. He's got players that he likes and he trusts. For me, and you know, like, I'm Welsh, so I don't really care, but like, to me, I thought now was a good time to maybe move a couple of those players out, but he hasn't. So I guess he'll live and die with that, and he'll keep his job or he won't in the long term, depending on the results. But I thought it was a good time to maybe move a couple of those players out who aren't playing or are getting a bit older, or I don't know. It's a weird one. Tony's deservedly in there. I know he's got the betting thing hanging over his head, and he's probably going to get some sort of ban, but he deserves to be in the squad for the goals he's scored over the last few seasons. Would you, if you were England manager, would you cap him, Tony, even though he's going to get banned?
Yeah.
He deserves to be in that squad. He should have been in it. He should have already been in that squad. He should have already played.
Exactly.
So the way I look at it.
He's going to be punished for that. Why should he be punished again before he's even been punished? So that's something separate. Shouldn't be punished for something he's going to get punished for.
Yeah, it's this weird thing, isn't it? I saw a few people yesterday during the Man City match on social media, so like on Champions League, and we've talked about social media fans before, but I saw quite a few social media fans kind of giving it should Man City be still playing while they've got these charges hanging over them? If it was an individual player, you get suspended, wouldn't you? If you had all those charges hanging over you, you'd kind of be suspended by the club or whatever. Like, to me, they haven't been found guilty yet. So, I mean, you guys, I think you've got to wait for that. But I thought it was an interesting kind of outlook on it. Where do you stand on that? Do you think there's any reason why they shouldn't be currently playing?
No.
It's not, is it? Because they could get not guilty, couldn't they, of everything?
Yeah.
So I think. But then why is that different for individuals? You know, you've got plenty of individuals having legal troubles.
It's preference, isn't it? So some clubs might but me as a manager and as a player, as a manager, you want your best players to play. Yeah. I'm a football manager. The club can deal with the politics. If it's a play, he's playing. Boom. Unless he's not a serial killer or a rapist.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Yeah, indeed, mate, indeed. But it's interesting how all the different clubs deal with it, deal with those situations differently, isn't it? Because you've got obviously the Mendy one with Man City, he was suspended straight away. You had Greenwood suspended straight away. Partey though has played a massive part for Arsenal all season.
But that's been kept pretty quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know anymore what the right thing and wrong thing is with regards to what these clubs should be doing, because ultimately, if you haven't been found guilty of a crime,
whatever Partey's allegedly done.
Yeah, thanks for
that. It's been kept pretty quiet. So
yeah. So interesting results this week in the European games. Feyenoord won 7-1 at home against Shakhtar after drawing 1-1 in the first leg. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Shakhtar equalised late on in the first leg, or the other way around. But Feyenoord looking sharp.
Sporting looking decent. Arsenal.
Yeah. Be interesting if Arsenal, because they went behind in the first leg.
They was looking sharp. City. Did you watch that game?
I watched a bit of it. Yeah, looked good, didn't it? Looked good.
There you go.
They got to find that form in the Premier League now, haven't they? If they're going to chase Arsenal down, and they got to play each other, which is the fascinating thing, isn't it? They got to play each other.
We'll gloss over Cardiff.
No, they had a good result yesterday, mate.
Did they?
Yeah, draw against West Brom.
I thought it was 2-0 down.
No, that was Saturday. They lost 2-0 to Preston. That lad, I forget his name now. I'll have a look now. On
West Brom
played a real good game.
West Brom. What score was
that? 1-1 away. So take that all day long. All day long. So they got a 4-point cushion over the relegation zone. So picked up a couple of wins and a draw in the last 5. So probably take that with the form they were in and the way they were playing. We'll take that all day long. I got to ask you about refereeing, mate, because I watched the Leicester game on Saturday, and I'm watching it and I'm thinking, I think it was three tackles at least, which were like, oh fucking hell, like, why isn't VAR looking at that? And I'm thinking, all right, maybe they want to, you don't want to send the players off and spoil the games and that.
Yeah.
All right, give them the benefit of the doubt. And then you watch the next game. I think it was the United game, wasn't it? And Casemiro sent off. Look, the Casemiro one, I don't think it's a red card because I feel that his foot has bounced off the ball, which has made it wouldn't have been high if his foot had not ricocheted on that angle. So I think it's harsh, but I understand it. But then when you look at those ones from the day before, the same referees, like the ref who reffed the game for United was the VAR ref. The VAR ref, was the same. And you're just thinking, how can you go from one to the other? Like,
we talked about this. We talked about this the other day. It's the inconsistency. It's always been the same. When you're dealing with
it's the same guy.
Wait, and what are you doing?
24 hours later,
when you're dealing with human beings, and you're dealing with good referees, bad referees.
Do you think the refereeing standard,
shocking,
since VAR's come in, has got worse?
Shocking. We've talked about it this week. Why can't we just bring the best referees in the world in? Why can we not do that?
Yeah. Why does it all have to be British referees?
English. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Because the refereeing standard at the moment, I think, is so that right. The handball, mate, in the United game was the most ridiculous decision I've ever seen. The guy has leant forward onto his knees and almost caught the ball, and VAR's not brought that back. And I'm just thinking, like, what are we doing?
That's the one at City. It's just...
And it's just, like, how can you justify it?
It's laughable. It's laughable.
But then you've got Howard Webb, who's just come in on God knows how much money. Supposedly, he's going to... And look, by the way, Howard Webb was in his day, was one of the best referees around. But, like, I don't know what he's said or done since he's come in. Obviously, I'm not party to that. But it's not working. They've got a big issue with it, because it's not just one club who are getting fed up of it. It is the overall perspective, that all the viewers, all the pundits, everyone's getting fed up of it. And I think that creates a very big problem, because it puts the referees under more pressure, because now everyone is watching every single little decision, even if it doesn't affect your club. You've got people pulling stuff up, and you know, the age of social media as it is, you've got clips instantly, and it's laughable, mate. And like even today, and just watching that game which we just watched, that Police Street booking, like he's got the ball, like literally he's dribbling it, he's overhit it a little bit, and he's just slid and passed the football. Hasn't like it's just his follow throughs kind of bumped into the player, not studs up, nothing like that. He's played the ball, literally past it, and he's got a booking. And then 5 minutes later, someone's, I think it was Malacia, took someone out, you know, took the yellow card and didn't get a yellow card. And it's just like, it's same game, and you can't even get consistency in decisions.
It's the inconsistency. It's just yeah, it's frustrating. But talk about it this week, and then you've got video evidence, cameras everywhere, and they're still getting it wrong.
Unbelievable, mate. And it's like, you're right. So you're coaching, yeah, at the moment. If you're on the sideline and you're seeing those inconsistencies in the same game, so one team gets a red card or like a
we see it
must drive people insane.
We see it on a weekly basis. We're at the tier 7 of football, and the referees are, you know, they're there for a reason.
But like,
there's one the other day. The guy, it's gone over his head, and he's literally handballed it. Our guy's right here next to him. He's going to be in on goal. The referees give him a yellow card, said, no, it wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. He's going away from the goal. I was like, yeah, he's left-footed. He's in on goal. He's 2 yards in from the 18-yard box. 2 yards out of the 18-yard box. Are you taking the piss?
The defender knows what he's doing. Knows like by handball, it's the risk, innit? He takes the risk that he might get sent off.
And then I watch it back on video, because we have VO that watch it.
Yeah.
So I went back and watched it. It was even more blatant. It was more inside the box than what they originally thought. And he was just chatting. I wish he had the video just say, not bad. Look, see that. Love a look at that.
And then the managers and the coaches get in trouble.
What?
So the managers and the coaches get in trouble.
I'm cool with it now. So I speak to them properly. I don't raise my voice. I just talk to them normal. I just talk to them as I'm going off the pitch. And then as we get to where they're going to, if I need to say anything more, I'll go in the room. But I don't really lose my temper. There's no point. Just no point.
But like, so Graham
make sure you know everything they're going to question. But the next half, he was spot on, and we ended up with a good result. So.
But like, even like Graham Potter, obviously his results have picked up a little bit. But a few weeks ago, he was fighting for his job pretty much. There's a lot of speculation about him, and the results weren't going his way. A lot of money spent, and he's getting these dodgy decisions that could cost him his job, mate. You know, and there's no accountability.
Arsenal scored.
That's what they needed, an early goal. Do you think
Xhaka?
Do you think the way to go, mate, is that they have to make referees come out and explain their decisions? Or So do you think they have to explain decisions?
Have them mic'd up so we can all hear what's going on.
Well, I think they have to mic up the refs now. I think it's got to be done. They do it in all other sports. Yeah. Because for the life of me, I cannot understand how that wasn't a handball penalty on Sunday. For the life of me, I can't understand how at least one of those fouls on the Chelsea-Leicester game is not a red card. Like, they're proper, some of them were proper nasty and nothing, not even a booking. And it's just like, until they sort it, I just feel like it's only going to get worse. And I think that's the problem is managers, like it can cost them relegation, it can cost them jobs.
Let's give this Howard Webb a bit more time, and then we'll see where we're at next year. But if it's the same next year, some heads have got to roll, haven't they?
They got to, mate, because I think like it's got worse since he was announced coming in. And I don't know if it's just coincidence that these things have kind of happened as he's come in and they would have happened anyway, or if he's changed anything up. But since he's come in, it's got worse. There's worse decisions going on. And I think it's a big problem because it can cost people this time of the year. It can cost teams relegation, promotion, European top 4, whatever. Like it, and cost managers their jobs. And I just think referees have to be held accountable. And to me, the only answer is to mic them up and make them explain after.
Agreed.
Then there's an accountability because I do think, lastly on it, that VAR has made referees, they're almost refusing to make decisions. And then what's happening is because they've got this directive now where unless it's clear, VAR's not going to interfere. So you have a referee on the pitch who's scared to make the decision. And then VAR is too scared to intervene. And it's just, it's embarrassing, mate, honestly. Will says, did you see the away keeper at Newport? He caught the ball on the 22-yard line where they had the rugby markings thinking that it was the box. Excellent. That's what I like to see.
Funny.
Antonio Conte says that he was joking about being sacked before the end of the season.
Why would they sack him by the end of the season? Pay him a load of money when they can get rid of him at the end of the season for now.
Yeah, it doesn't make a great deal of sense, does it? No. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah. And they're in the Champions League, so why would they fucking mess that up? Yeah. Just reporters being dicks.
Yeah, journalism at its highest, mate, I think, isn't it? So, since we last spoke, obviously, you had United at that 4-1 against Betis last week. They've won again tonight, 1-0. For that particular, the European game, how did you think they played overall, 2 legs?
Yeah, they did all right. 5-1 in the quarter-final. Is it a quarter-final?
Yeah, quarter-final now, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, good result.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good response last week, like as good as they could have given.
Well, the home side won it. Home side won it, didn't they?
They put it to bed late on.
5-10 minute spell where they got them 2-3 goals, killed the game.
I thought the referee killed the game.
Away from home. Let's put it away.
2.
No, he's not give it. Offside. No, he's but to go away from home and win 1-0, it's a very good result. That very good.
It was much more open than I thought it was going to be. But I thought United, apart from the 2 chances, I thought United were relatively comfortable tonight. Few players who I thought did quite well. I thought Pellistri did quite well. Casemiro was his usual self. Bruno looks so much better in the middle. And I think, do you know what? If I was a United fan, I'd be excited to see Casemiro, Sabitzer and Bruno play together. Because I think Sabitzer, you can see as soon as he comes on, his movement off the ball and his passing gives them another dimension, similar to what Eriksen gives them, where he can thread those balls through, which other people don't see. So it'd be interesting if he's fit now, how he does. But obviously, Casemiro's out and he for 4 games or whatever. Who else did I thought Sancho. I don't know what's going on with Sancho. Sancho looks better. When he comes off the bench, he looks good. And then when he starts, he struggles. It's a weird one. I don't know whether would you say it's a fitness thing? Or would you say it's just their confidence?
I think it's just the process with him. It's going to take time, longer than...
I thought he looked pretty sharp tonight.
Yeah, he does look sharp in bits. That's what I mean. But why is he not looking the same when he's starting? So, yeah, but he'll get there.
I think he will as well. I think you can see that there's a player there. And also, he's going to get game time now. Garnacho's out pretty much till the end of the season. Obviously, Eriksen's still out, so they haven't really got a number 10 replacement for Bruno. So it'll be interesting how they develop over the next couple of weeks without Casemiro. But ultimately, they should be beating, Fulham in the FA Cup without Casemiro. But Fulham have been pretty good this season, all season. They've been very consistent.
They have, but Arsenal just beat them convincingly at home, 3-0 at their place. You're at Old Trafford, mate. You should expect to win there.
Yeah, absolutely. Casemiro or no Casemiro. I think Rashford looks a little bit tired, so I'm not surprised he came off today. Good goal, wasn't it? But it'd be interesting, mate, how they develop. Harry Maguire, mate. No one will ever convince me that he's a Manchester United centre back. I'm sorry. I know people probably there's some England fans who think he's good and that, but for whatever reason, whenever he plays for United, maybe it's just a case that he doesn't start enough, so he's nervous or whatever. But he gives the ball away. He's out of position. Just amateur hour, mate. He makes everyone else around him nervous, and I
thought he did okay tonight. He did okay.
He was better after. I think I texted you after about half hour, and I was like, Jesus Christ, he's all over the shop. But actually, he did get better as the game grew. But he gives the ball away all the time, mate. And he gives it away in dangerous areas. And I just think that's where he gets found out a bit because of the way they're trying to play out from the back. On Arsenal, mate, I know they're playing now. They're 1-0 up. I was very impressed with the way they played on the weekend. I thought they were really, really good. Who's the sort of number 10 attacking midfielder from? Is it Martinelli? Yeah. Odegaard, yeah, he's very good, Nate. But he can try. I'm impressed with him about how he controls games because he's still quite young. Because obviously he went to Madrid, didn't he, at like 15 or something?
Yeah.
And he does. He really dictates the tempo of the game, and to do that under the pressure that they're under now, chasing a league title, I think is impressive. The Martinelli is good as well. I just think Arsenal have got the confidence, and I think until they drop points and City capitalise on it, we won't really see if they've got the bottle to hold on. I think because at the moment, every time Arsenal have dropped a point or drawn, so have City, so they haven't capitalised on it.
City game, innit? If City win, then 2 points, and it's on, innit?
What was the score in the first game? I know City won. Was it? It was quite heavy, wasn't it? Wasn't it like 3-0 or something, or 3-1?
I can't remember.
But I tend to think, if City was to go and beat them, 2-3-0, it could be really, really tight. But at the moment, Arsenal
look good. Some game that though.
Yeah, got to do. Arsenal look good, mate. I've got to say, I've been very surprised by it, and it goes to show again. I know we said this before. When they were bottom of the league at the start of last year and everyone was calling for Arteta's head, he's not up to it. He's too big a job. Look at him now. Even if they finish second, mate, tremendous improvement from where they were last season. Rob Boyle says, Odegaard is the best midfielder in the Premier League this season. You having that? Better than Casemiro? It's a tough one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
If you were picking your team of the year now and you had to pick 2 central midfielders, would they be your 2? Do you reckon?
Yeah.
De Bruyne? I don't think he's had a great season.
Not on this season.
Yeah.
If you're going off last night or Tuesday night, then yeah.
But the season overall, like 16th of March, where after the World Cup and stuff.
He would be in it anyway. He would be the third midfielder. He has a 2-man midfielder. So, come on.
Yeah, come on. I think there's definitely an argument to be made about Odegaard being the best central midfielder in the
definitely in the conversation anyway. So definitely
100%. Newcastle picking up some points, mates, chasing you down, and Newcastle are up to 44. Tottenham 2 points behind United. Brighton still going.
Newcastle got some tough games coming up though. They've got Liverpool. They've got Chelsea. So
Newcastle's next 3 games: Forest away, United at home, West Ham, and Brentford. Some tough games there. But this will make or break their season, won't it? At the end of the day, I just am so impressed with Brighton and the way they play, and the fact that they haven't dropped off all season. Like they keep playing the same stuff, same players, and they just haven't dropped off. I think that they've got a game in hand. I still think they're in with a shout. If you're telling me that Liverpool can still get in the top 4, which is what everyone says, well, Brighton
look at Liverpool's next 3 fixtures.
Brighton have got a game in hand, and they're on the same points as Liverpool. So why aren't Brighton in the conversation?
Liverpool's next 3 fixtures.
So they played Madrid last night. Fulham, Man City, Chelsea. Oof.
And who they got after Chelsea?
Oh, sorry, the Fulham game's postponed. So it's Liverpool, City, Chelsea, both away. Then they play Arsenal at home and Leeds away. So they could conceivably lose 3 of those games, 3 out of 4 games easily without too much of a drastic thing happening. So again, I asked the question, why aren't Brighton in the conversation for top 4 race?
Because we always think these teams will tail off, because that's what history tells us. Unless it's a Leicester City that went on to win the league. But ultimately, most times, they tail off because it gets harder. But this year's been a bit different. You've had a World Cup, you've had people having rest, you've had winter breaks. So it'd be it's a lot more different.
Season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit different. So you might see these teams and these Brightons, whoever you thought when Potter went, that they'll tail off, but they haven't. They've got better.
Crazy.
If they're up there, the stats, possession stats, are up there with City. Chances created, they're up there with a bit best in the team, best in the league. So they're up there by merit, but can they keep it going? These games coming thick and fast now. Can they keep it going?
I think the
Chelsea
as
seems
well,
to have got that together. At Liverpool, got some tough games. Newcastle seems to have got their act together. Tottenham have started winning games again. United are going to start winning games again. The front 2 have gone, so it's out of 2. It's out of 1, I reckon, because United's got 3rd place. So it's out of Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton. I don't see Liverpool winning 2 of them games.
Let alone 3.
Let alone 3, yeah.
Yeah, I got to say, I think that that run of games could probably put paid to Liverpool.
I'll give them away from Anfield.
I think it was 2 away, 1 home. City and check now. I think it was City and Chelsea.
The hardest one is Anfield, Arsenal, probably, because they're league leaders.
So there we go. Man City at Man City on the 1st of April. 4th of April, then 3 days later, you got away to Chelsea. And then the following Sunday, they're at home to Arsenal. So, I mean, their season could be over in a week.
Yeah.
But if somehow they could win 3 games, they're going to be right up there. So,
Couldn't you see him winning at City?
No.
Yeah, but if they play at the top level,
well, if they pretend they're playing Man United, then yes.
Yeah, but potentially they can win all them games. Will they? I very much doubt it, but potentially they could.
I asked this question a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to ask it again because I thought they were piss poor last night. Went out of the Champions League with a whimper. Are Liverpool as a team, the squad and the coaches, are they cheating their fans by turning up like they did against United to win 7-0 and being unbelievable, to then
I just think
other games are just shit?
No, I don't think they're cheating the fans because they're still putting the effort in. They're just not getting the same results. But and it's like a kind of a transitional period. Some players are on the way out. A bit of a freak season, like we mentioned before. So, yeah, these 4 years have been weird, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, with like COVID and then...
Yeah. So this is literally 3 years ago, to the day, COVID, the lockdowns were starting. No, 3 years ago. So it just feels like fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, haven't it? And then you add in the World Cup just before Christmas. It's been weird, haven't it? And like you look at it, like Chelsea are 10th or whatever. I know they've won a couple on the bounce now, and think
buyers coming in, money getting spent here, there, and everywhere.
Well, like we said the other week, mate, the transfer window this coming summer could be absolutely wild. The way it's looking, you look at the reports that Qatar are going to buy United, and you're going to have especially if Arsenal win the league, like you're going to have Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle, all with like money to burn.
Chelsea.
And then Chelsea will do what they do, which is try and sign everyone. And then I think that is another thing to consider with Liverpool. Could that make it more difficult for Liverpool to kind of reset? And
I think what Liverpool are doing are trying to get marquee players, top players. Darwin Núñez, there's a top player in there somewhere. I'm not seeing enough of this guy, Paul Cazapo, whatever his name is. But they get Jude Bellingham. You know, these are top players. So, and then you can add pieces to it around it that are not so expensive. It's a bit like NFL. You get the top players, and then you try and piece the pieces around them. Still with quality players. You know, Robertson's quality player, one of the best left backs in the league. Trent Alexander, one of the best right backs going forward. Going on the other side, it's questionable. You know, Thiago, Salah. You know,
there's players there, isn't there?
They've got nucleus of a very, very good side, yeah.
What about Tottenham? Where do we stand on their current?
All depends what Harry Kane does, doesn't it?
Surely,
if Harry Kane comes to United, forget about it. It's all over.
Yeah, mate. I'm not even getting into the Harry Kane conversation with regards to United again. But what I will say is, surely they won't bring Pochettino back just to keep Harry Kane happy, or just to keep him at the club, will they?
Don't know. You got to remember, Pochettino didn't win anything at Tottenham.
No, but I saw someone one of the reports, which is obviously you take with a pinch of salt, that they were going to offer Harry Kane a say in how the team was going to be run in terms of transfers and things. You cannot give a player that sort of power.
No,
and I know it's bullshit.
What was that in the Sun?
I don't know. It was just one of them, like something, dodgy journalism in it. But like, you just can't do that, can you? You just can't do that.
Yeah. Doesn't happen, mate. Doesn't happen.
Do you think Conte there?
The football players. What?
You reckon Conte will still be there starting next season?
No.
He's done, isn't he?
No,
I think. Brentford still looking good, and they're only a point behind Brighton, by the way. They got to play the game more.
Why aren't we talking about Brentford if we're talking about Brighton?
If we're talking, all I'm saying is, if we're talking about Liverpool being in the top 4 race, then to me, Brighton and Brentford deserve to be in the same conversation, regardless.
They will be in 2 weeks' time after they've played them 3 games. Flipping it.
Yeah.
City, Chelsea away, and then Arsenal at home.
Well, mate, if they were conceivably to lose those 3 games, Liverpool could end up. They could be dug down in 10th, 11th, because Chelsea are picking up. Fulham keep picking up points. Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, they're all picking up points. They're all so. It's very, and it's all ifs and buts, I suppose.
Very congested, isn't it?
Yeah, even at the bottom, mate, it's so congested.
Yeah.
Like right up to
Palace.
15th.
12th.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. I was looking at 25. There's literally like 5 points from 12th to bottom.
No,
so it could be anything, couldn't it? That could be literally anyone.
Yeah.
Any big teams you see who might struggle to stay up? Leicester, maybe? They've lost 4 on the bounce.
No. Palace are on a struggle, but I think they've done enough. I think because they've got to play the teams around them. So I think they'll get out that way. I think Southampton, done. Leeds, done.
West Ham?
No. Bournemouth, done.
That's interesting to me. Because I look at the form of, like, Leicester have lost 4 on a bounce. Forest
Leicester have got quality to get out of it, though, haven't they?
But at some point, that quality's got to start putting the ball in the net, haven't it?
I agree, yeah. But, you know, when you
Forest haven't won a game for 5.
Seems like when Madison plays, they win. When he doesn't, they lose.
Yeah, fair. Palace haven't won a game in 5. Forest haven't won a game in 5. Like, there's some bad form down there. But the way the Premier League is now, it's much more like a championship of past years where anybody could win anything. And yeah, we talked about it, didn't we? Like the because of the World Cup, it feels like there's only like 5-6 games to go, but there's a lot of points to be played for. A lot of points to be played for.
It's like 10 games to go.
Yeah, something like that. It's madness, isn't it? Someone just, I think it was Donna asked the question, who do we think is be the player of the year and young player of the year for Cardiff? I don't expect you to know that, mate, but if you do have an input on it, you're more than welcome to have one. I think Perry NG will be player of the year deservedly, and young player of the year, I would probably go with Philomene or potentially Kaba, maybe, although I don't know because he's only been there since January. But Kaba, who scored yesterday again, I've been really impressed with him. He's explosive, creative, gives them something different. Big fan of him so far. Really like it. Middlesbrough marching on, mate. But you know who's suddenly getting a bit of momentum? Only a point behind Borough is Luton. Again, for the third season in a row, finding form at the right time. And they're experienced at it now, mate. They've been in and around those playoffs.
They're going to eventually do it, aren't they?
Yeah, and look, I think if you remember, I said last year I really wanted them to go up. Good old-fashioned football club, football ground. They're doing really well, mate. And the form that they're in at the moment, they play good football, mate, as well, which I think is good. They just won 3 on the bounce against Swansea, Sheffield United, and Bristol. All difficult games. And they won each one 1-0. That's the form which takes you up in the Championship. Marky Mackay form, that is, for Cardiff.
Go there as well. They've probably got 12, 13 games.
Not as many games, though, as they've played 37. So they've caught up a little bit in the Championship.
They play 46?
Is it 46 or 43? Yeah, 46. 46. So, yeah, there's still...
How would they play 40?
I know. 46 it is. So there's, what, 6 left? Oof. So tight down there, mate.
No, 9 if it's 37. But
37, 46. Yeah, sorry, 9.
Oh, my God.
No wonder I'm losing the lost Super 6 this week. I can't add up.
Can't flick a switch. Can't add up. Can't be Super 6. Come on.
It's tight down the bottom of the Championship, mate. Just like a Premier League, all the way up to probably 18th, I'd say, within danger. Even maybe Swansea in 17th. I think they're probably Swansea are 10 points off bottom. So I think they should be safe, but they're only 8 points off 22nd. So I don't know. And they're in bad form. They haven't won a game in 5 games. Cardiff and Rotherham have picked up a few wins and draws. It's tight. Another shout out to Coventry, mate, who at the start of the season were 5 games behind, bottom of the league. Right up there, doing nicely. Burnley running away with it. Cannot stop winning. Who do you think is going to get second in the Championship?
Borough.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Luton's there, mate, and I just look at them and I think, oh, here we go.
You say Luton, then you say Luton. I'll say Borough.
But I do think Borough. I think it's between them two.
That'll make
I think Sheffield United are going to fade away. That's my opinion.
Right. So which one is it, Luton or Middlesbrough?
I think Middlesbrough. They score more goals, so I think probably Middlesbrough.
Right.
But like I just said,
to stealing my choice again.
Yeah, I got to copy you, mate, and I got to make up that 18-point lead. I think I do think Luton have got it. If you keep winning 1-0, they'll go up at the end of the day because they won't not conceding nothing. What's the Arsenal score, please?
1-0.
Still 1-0.
Half time.
Boring Arsenal. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think?
Half time.
All right, okay. You sure?
Yeah, 43 minutes.
Who do you fancy for the Europa League?
United.
You do think United will be up in there?
United or Arsenal, isn't it?
I don't know, mate. I look at some of the teams and who's in there. Feyenoord won 7-1 tonight. You just don't know, mate. You
mate, in one-off game, possibly. In 2 legs, no chance.
Well, yeah, but the finals are one-off, isn't it?
You've got to think about the Dutch League, Premier League. Yes, they're playing okay, but once they play against a real proper Premier League team, they won't.
But they don't have to play a Premier League team to get to the final, do they?
No, that's correct. That's what I'm saying. So a one-off game, they've got more of a chance. In a 2-legged game, no chance.
So if you're saying United and Arsenal are the standout sort of teams within it, who is there? Juventus, Roma,
because you know Mourinho.
Yeah, he'll fancy it, won't he, Mourinho?
Yeah, definitely.
All day long. Who else is in there? Seville, just about still in. Oh no, they are in. They lost tonight, but they went through on the first leg 2-0.
And they're struggling in the league. Then the relegation fight, aren't they?
They are, yeah, but they win
it. They win it every year.
Just historically, don't they? Are the holders still in it? Eintracht Frankfurt, or are they still in the Champions League?
They got battered last night off
Champions League. Let's have a look. Napoli,
yeah, that's it.
And Oshman. That's who United should be going for, not fucking Harry Kane. Harry Kane's shite.
Harry Kane's guaranteed 25 goals a season. Guaranteed. Boom. Boom.
And you don't think that Victor Osimhen will score more goals?
Not guaranteed. Not in that Premier League. It's a different animal.
Come on. He looked good. Did you see his header yesterday?
Yeah.
Bullet. A bullet. I do think Paul Scholes said something interesting earlier. He said he thinks that he looks like a Chelsea striker, like a Drogba or that type of ilk, which I thought was quite an interesting take. But as I said it last week, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. I just don't think Harry Kane fits into the way United play and the type of forward that they're looking for. But
he's a centre forward. You just tell him to stop dropping deep. You don't need to do that here. You're at Man United, not Tottenham. It's pretty simple. Stay up there and you'll get 30 goals. And you'll beat Alan Shearer's record in 2 years. Or keep dropping deep when you don't need to. It's just a discipline and being good coach. And that's what Ten Hag is. He'll be saying what you're coming deep for here. We don't need you to do that here. Sometimes you can do when to join in and play and to get involved or to link up play, but you don't need to be doing that all the time. Stay up there, mate.
Newcastle striker Callum Wilson was on Footballers Football podcast this week, and he said, for me, racism is still very present, especially with social media and stuff like that. And he thinks that that's why we don't see more black players going into management. Do you agree with that? Or do you think that they just don't get given the opportunities?
No, don't agree with that. Not at all. They just don't get the opportunities.
It's weird, isn't it?
Because nothing to do with Twitter. How many managers you see on Twitter anyway?
Yeah, there's not many, is there? I can't think of maybe a handful, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think Paul Ince is on Twitter, but he's not tweeting every day. I don't think he even probably uses it. It's someone else doing it. But yeah, definitely not. That's rubbish.
It's so they were on about the amount of social media racist abuse which players get. I think Michael Antonio's the latest to get it, and I think it is a problem, isn't it? And I think we've discussed about social media. You should have to verify your account, and if you can't verify it, then you don't get it.
100%.
Because
literally, passport or
driver's license,
some kind of ID, real ID. How security, the way you do it when you join a bank or whatever you join, and you got to do these security questions, go through it. Or yes, it's a ball ache at the start. Once it's done, it's done.
Yeah. And it's the same, if you're on a betting site or something like that, you have to do it, don't you?
Correct.
Draw money out.
Or I'm into my crypto. So if you join one of these crypto apps, they want to know everything. They want your passport number. They want a picture of you. They want your national insurance number. They want your driving license. They want everything. But once it's done, it's done.
And the thing is, mate, right, is we're both fathers. Is one of the first things you tell your kids is you're responsible for what comes out your mouth, what you say, what you do. You've got to take responsibility for your own actions. And then you go on a Twitter or something, and then it's just literally a free for all of people who are just saying any old bullshit, and they've got no responsibility unless they're stupid enough to do it under their real name, which a few of them have, haven't they? And they obviously then get prosecuted. But to me, it's a very simple solution in terms of the social media companies have got to be a bit proactive and just go, yeah, you got to verify yourself. If you don't verify yourself,
it's really easy though.
don't have an account. Yes, it is.
It's really easy to implement as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I think that's why people find it frustrating, isn't it?
Really easy.
But then that's why it's frustrating, isn't it? Because it's so easy to implement, and then we just keep seeing the same cycle of, these players just getting the same abuse all the time, and it's just like we've got to, at some point, someone's got to just go, right, let's sort this shit out. And no one seems to want to take responsibility for it. And I do think that it's got to be the social media companies who've got to do it, but they will do it if they have enough pressure from FIFA, the Premier League, whoever it is. I mean, FIFA's comical in itself, and they don't give a shit. But like the Premier League and the FA and people like this and the government, they've got to put pressure on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and say, no, you need to do better. But will they? Will they fuck? Will they fuck? Aaron Ramsey named new Welsh captain. When he plays, well, he's fit. He's in the squad. Do you think that is the correct choice?
Yes. Always turn up for Wales. Never let us down. Been a very, very good servant. It's always been Bale and Ramsey over the last 5-10 years. So, yeah, very good choice.
And you know what?
How old is he, Aaron Ramsey? How old is he? Like 30,
31, something like that. He's not like late 30s. He's still got a lot in him, I think. And also, I think people forget is he was Gary Speed's captain, and he did a very, very, very good job with it. The only reason he ended up having it taken off him was when Chris Coleman decided, no, I'm going to do things my way, and he wanted to give him a bit more freedom away from the captaincy. And actually, Aaron Ramsey did a great job as captain of Wales previously, so I think it's a good choice. Ben Davies is the vice captain again.
Good choice.
Big fan of Ben Davies. Rob Boyle just asked us to discuss something. I'm going to bring it up because I'm not aware. So he asked, have you talked about the Welsh Women's League, the manager of Afan Lido, he sparked out the ref. So I'll have a look now and see if I can get it. I'll even put it on the screen.
He sparked out a ref?
Yeah.
What, the Welsh national manager for the women's?
No. It happened in the Welsh Women's League, apparently. Probe launched after referee assaulted by the coach in a women's football match. So, South Wales Football Association has launched an investigation. Oh, mate, that's the end of that because the South Wales FA is a fucking joke. Has launched an investigation into an alleged incident at a women's football match in South Wales. Gwent police have said two men involved two men left. One was suffering with facial injuries. So apparently sparked him out. Said they were the club said they're cooperating with the probe and whatnot. I was hoping there was going to be a video, but there's not. Doesn't seem to be. So we can't have a look. It's difficult to talk about it without seeing this situation.
No,
obviously, you can't.
It doesn't really matter. You shouldn't give.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, but he could have been defending himself, couldn't he? He could have been defending one of the women. Like, what I mean by there could be some sort of context which we don't know. But obviously, you can't go around punching referees.
There's ways to deal with it, and it's not physical assault. It's not the way to deal with it.
Oh no, I agree, and I think
I know. Sometimes we want to punch the ref's head in.
You can't do it, though, can you?
I want to do that many times, but unfortunately, you can't.
Yeah, you can't do that, and I think he's probably looking at a lifetime ban, do you reckon?
Oh, yeah,
surely.
He's finished. He's gone.
Done.
Out of here.
Yeah, I can't see how you can come back from that. I really don't, because it opens up a whole can of worms, doesn't it?
Coaching under 8s team in about 15 years. That'll be about it. He's finished. He's gone.
Yeah, I don't see how you come back from that. I really don't.
He dogs, mate.
Have you ever seen
after he gets out of doing his porridge? No, then he's finished. Yeah, he's gone.
have you ever seen any kind of like instance like that, and like towards the ref in your time, or have people been a bit
no. I got out of hand about 2 or 3 years ago. Was it about 2 or 3 years ago? It may have been longer ago. And referee proper wound me up, and I just lost it. And he booked me, and he took his pen out to fucking write on whatever he's going to fucking write on.
No, so you threw his pen.
I took his pen off him and just went, fuck off, right in his head.
Can't do it.
Yeah, he sent me off. But yeah, it was just a loss of just my head when, obviously at half time I went in and apologised. And yeah, but I just lost my head. That's probably the worst thing I've seen happen to that, because I just fucking lost it. And then fucking hit him right in his eye. I went, fuck off, right? It was like fucking Michael Van Gerwen. I went, boom, fuck off.
Did you get a hefty ban for that then, or just a normal sending off ban?
This is the funny thing. He was in a charity game on a Sunday afternoon.
A
very big lane.
Got all that het up just over a charity game.
Yeah, no,
shocking.
Yeah. No. I did get booted to foot though. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, booted me right through the back. I've got the ball in the front. He's booted me from the back of the ankle and kicked the ball with my foot. And he said he won the ball. Won the ball because he kicked my fucking foot, you daft prick. And he went, hey, you're going to bring the yellow card out. So he's got the yellow card out with a penny. Oh, yeah, fuck off, have a pen in your head. And then walked off. He was like, just scrambled, so I got his red card. I'm going anyway, in a bit.
Jesus. Rob said, no, it wasn't in terms of context. He was just fuming with the decisions and lashed out. Yeah, but he's done it.
Yeah, he's toast, mate. He's toast.
Yeah.
Criminally charged.
Yeah,
never be coaching again, especially women, you know?
Yeah, well, I can't see how he comes back from that in any way. Like, I was thinking...
more disciplined with women if you're a man in coaching.
Within the women's game, yeah. God, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird one, is to lash out like that. But I would imagine he'll probably be looking at. They'll probably press charges as well. I would have thought.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean by saying he's doing his porridge.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing his porridge, and he'll be out. No coaching for him.
Yeah, and he wouldn't even be allowed to coach kids, mate.
Because go on, what?
He won't even be able to keep coach kids, will he?
No, he's finished, mate. He'll be on his DBS and everything. He's finished. He's toast.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, I forgot to ask you earlier. Did you think the Casemiro one on Saturday or Sunday was a sending off?
No.
It was stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pathetic.
But the handball, definitely, that was not a penalty at all, was it?
No.
That's
your natural position to put your hand down. If you don't put your hand down, your face plant the floor.
Mate, it was it's some embarrassing refereeing decisions over this last couple of weeks, and they got to do something about it, as we said earlier. Where's that thing? And there was one more thing I wanted to ask you about, and I can't find it. We'll have to talk about it again. We'll be back next week.
What about the Soccer 6? Oh, it's not.
Oh, yeah, go on. Yeah, no, go on. Let's do them so I don't forget. Well remembered, mate. Soccer 6 predictions.
Well, you're bad. You're not remembering stuff. You're not remembering to switch the sound on. What else was it? You don't know what you don't know what 2 out 2 is.
I'm getting old, mate. You know, I'll be catching you soon. Right, let's get the games up.
Another like 6 or 7 or 8 points, and it's only like 10 points this weekend. It's all finished. I give you like a 35 point start.
30 point lead. 30, I let you back in tonight.
It was more than 30, 35 points, and you. Oh my god, this is going to be an absolute laughing stock.
Massacre. I was bored, mate. I was like so far ahead. I was bored.
Sure, you were. What did you say when you seen the text at Tuesday? When I read that text.
Well, when you told me that I'd missed it,
yeah,
I just laughed, mate. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Absolutely,
what is going on?
Nothing. Should have been running at Cheltenham today.
Oh, look at that for a game. Saturday, 18th of March, Cardiff are away to Rotherham, who is the team directly above them by a point. How do you see that game going?
Rotherham to Cardiff, Cardiff to Rotherham.
Geography me. How far is that?
Mind you, actually, it's not. You're coming from South Wales, and it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
So what are we saying then? Cardiff 3-0?
3-4 hours. I don't know. Tough game, that.
It's going to be,
always close, them games, isn't it? Go either way.
Only a point in it between the two of them. Right. Yep. Spurs away to Southampton. I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs, I got.
3-1. 3-1 Spurs.
Brentford at home to Leicester. It's Brentford.
I'm going to go Leicester, 2-1.
Villa at home to Bournemouth. Well, that's an interesting one. I'm going to go with
2-0 Villa.
I'm going to go 1-0 Bournemouth there.
2-0 Villa.
Wolves at home to Leeds.
1-0 Wolves.
I'm going to go 2-1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Chelsea at home to Everton.
Ooh.
One of these days, Chelsea are going to give someone a spanking, I think. I think it's fair to say it's coming. So I'm going to go with just a 2-0.
That's what I was going to say. Chelsea. So I'm going to go 4-0. I'll double it.
Double it. And then lastly, we got Arsenal at home to Palace. It's a tricky one, but it's at Arsenal, so I think I'm going to go 3-1 to the Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
So on paper, all very, going with the favourites and stuff. But I'm sure there'll be a couple of upsets. I think I went against them, didn't I? What did I say?
You went Brentford, I went Leicester.
Yeah, so that could be the decider. Interesting stuff. Right, mate, as always, a pleasure. Always a good giggle. We'll be back next week. UFC on Saturday, mates, at a decent time.
Usman back in the game.
You reckon? Don't think Leon Edwards in at Wembley or whatever it is.
The old headshot dead is been used. So I hope Leon Edwards wins. But talking about it to my son before, these wrestlers, different breed.
Yeah.
These wrestlers.
I think Usman's going to try and pound him for 5. He's going to try and Khabib him, and he just drag him down and
manhandle
him.
John Jones him to death.
Yeah, that's it, mate. But it's on at a decent time, innit? It's on like 7:00 in the evening because it's like in the UK. If you want to do a watch along, mate, let me know and we'll jump on and just watch it and have a chat as we're going. Why not? Yeah. Just let me know. But in the meantime, check out the Sports Social for audio versions of all the various shows. Check out the Big Debate live as well. We done one on capital punishment the other day. It's on the My Story streams and it's on YouTube and that. It's an interesting one that was. Interesting, talking about should capital punishment still be in there? Should still be in, Rodders?
100%.
100%.
Get these speedos hung.
Shoot him in the head. Move along.
Shoot him in the head. No, not shoot him in the head. Just hang him. Just put him down a little trapdoor. Boom, see in a bit.
Yeah.
And then just lower. He's got water. And then once they're dead, just boom in the crocodiles.
Feed.
And we don't have to worry about them.
A man of the people, feeding the animals, getting rid of the paedophiles. What more do you want?
There you go.
Solutions. Nice one.